Guys, it's Chelsea and Connor here, coming at you with something a little bit special.
So tonight I'm going to talk to you about my Zing Metalfoes deck profile, the deck that when people ask me what I play makes them groan. Now, I did not build this deck to be cancerous. I built this because back when I was getting back into the game, I was looking around on Dueling Network, just trying to figure out what this whole new worm type of monster was all about. And then I discovered the things, like I was enthralled by the artwork, I was happy that they had decent effects, and I just fell in love. And when Metalfoes came out and I found out that they made the deck more viable, I was like, let's go, strap me in, we're doing it.
Cool.
So, let's just dive right in.
Yeah.
For those who don't understand the Yang Zings, they float down or up to another Yang Zing when they're destroyed and sent to the graveyard, and when they are used as a synchro material, that synchro monster gets a very special effect. So first up, we've got Pulao, Wind of the Yang Zing. It gives a synchro monster spell immunity. Not bad. It's not great since it's only level 1, but it's worth running. Then we have the first tuner, Chi-Wen, Light of the Yang Zing. He's pretty good. You can summon him from the graveyard when another Yang Zing is destroyed. That's always lovely in a tuner. Sure, he gets banished afterwards, but you can live with it. Then we got our Water Yang Zing. Great thing about him, trap immunity. Always fun. If you can get around counter traps, then you're pretty much golden. Run it 2, 3, you can. I prefer to. All of these are basically just what I prefer and what's worked for me. After Water the Yang Zing, we've got his superpowered evil side, Jiaotu. Beautiful tuner. Great tuner. You can if he's the only monster on your field, you can discard any 2 Yang Zing cards, summon 2 more, and just make your opponent cry. He's beautiful. He wins games. He's great. Next up, we've got the lower level Zephyr Yang Zing Pendulum. A lot of people don't like him. I can understand. He honestly isn't the best. However, I like to run him at 1 because I feel at 1 he's fairly he's very versatile. He can make plays that you might not make otherwise. He can change a board. He's pretty good at 1. And there's another reason I run him that I'll get into later down the line. The other level 3 Earth is Beyond Earth of the Yang Zing. He gives a synchro monster destruction by battle immunity. They can't be destroyed by battle. That is great. There are silly plays you can make with him. Even sillier, though, is his older brother, Suwani. Gives a synchro monster 500 attack and defense. Beautiful. Love him. Play him at 3. Most people do, so do I. His older brother, you don't really see much. He's okay. He's good if you need a high level. He prevents a synchro monster from being taken control of, which isn't the worst thing you have to deal with these days. But, I mean, if you're worried, you can run him. You can run him at more, but I wouldn't advise it. The final Yang Zing I run in the main deck is the other Zephyr Pendulum, Zephraniu. He's pretty fun. When he's Pendulum summoned or he's destroyed, you add a Yang Zing or Zephyr spell or trap card to your hand. It is great. There are a multitude of reasons to run him. Run him at 2, run him at 3 if you want. Just make sure you run him. Now we're going to go into the Metalfoes engine. I run 2 Bismugear, 2 Silvered, 3 Gold Driver, 2 Volflame. The Metalfoes engine, in terms of monsters, is really a matter of preference. This is what I like to run. This is what I've had success with. If you run something different, that's fine. If it works for you, it works for you. That's great. Moving on to the spells, I run 1 Metalfoes Fusion. That's a pretty ideal ratio for that in a non-Metalfoes focused deck, and even in some pure Metalfoes builds, you just run 1. It's something you want to see sometimes, and it's got a lot of use even outside of just fusing. I run 2 Yang Zing Paths. Beautiful card, wonderful card. Always run it. Run 2, run 3. If you must run only 1, but run it. You take 3 of your dead Yang Zing, shuffle them into the deck, and you draw 2. It's beautiful. You've got to run it. The final 2 spells I run, Dark Hole, perfect for this deck, which you can't Pendulum summon back, it just floats on down. It's like Stephen King's It up in here, it all floats down here. Dark Hole is perfect for this deck. Some people may not run it for whatever reason. That's fine. If that works for you, works. But this is what works for me.
Though.
Yep, common.
That's
Cleared your board with a common. Speaking
Yes.
of common board clearing, Torrential Tribute. Beautiful. I run it. You don't have to. I love it.
I think I have a secret around here if you want.
It's not necessary. It gets the job done. But if you're really into higher rarities, here's Zephyr Divine Strike. Counter trap. As long as you have a face-up Zephyr in your extra deck and your opponent activates a spell or trap or a monster effect, you just banish that Zephyr and destroy that card after negating the effect, of course.
Wow.
Beautiful. Negation, love it. Speaking of negation, 9 Pillars of the Yang Zing. Beautiful card, love this card. Friends hate me when I play it.
Yeah.
Every time I set a card, they go, "That's 9 Pillars in it. I hate you." And this is just beautiful. It's like Zephyr Divine Strike, but even better for Yang Zings. You destroy a Yang Zing at the end of it for cost. It's great. It's great. You have to run this.
Why only 2?
Because I do run the Divine Strike, and I personally couldn't find room for it that really improved the deck beyond having 2. That's a personal thing. Like, I feel like a broken record here, but it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine.
Fair enough.
I run 2 Yang Zing creations. This one was a bit better back in the day. I feel it still holds up now. Even if you don't use it for its intended purpose, you can use it like destroying it for one of the Synchros effects. You can discard it for Jiao-Tu. I feel it's a solid card to run. You can cut it down to 1. You can run it at 3. It's up to you. Final trap I run is Metalfoes counter at 3. You need those targets for the Metalfoes scale effects. This really helps. It helps you get monsters on board if you really need it. And there's another good reason to run it that's coming up once I get into the extra deck.
Quick question before you go on to the extra deck.
Yep.
So it seems like a lot of the versions of this deck that I've seen online have focused on establishing a board first turn of like double of the pillars and like a bunch of guys. Do you do that constantly, or is this more about like a grind game?
I'd say that the way I build this deck, it's very versatile. It can be an OTK deck, it can be a beat down deck, it can be a control-y deck, it can be whatever I need it to be. That might not sound great, it might not be what most people are looking for, but I have a lot of fun with it, and when it wins well. So, speaking now to get to the bread and butter of this deck, the extra deck. So first, let's get into fusions. I run 1 Orichalc. He's not really the Metalfoes playmaker that he used to be, but he's still pretty solid. 2800 attack isn't really something to laugh at. Double piercing is definitely not something to laugh at. And that send to the graveyard effect is hella real.
Yeah.
Then the other 2 fusions, 2 Mithrilium, stupidly beautiful, beautifully stupid. Definitely run at least 2. It's too real. It's too good. Like this is something you got to run with the Metalfoes. Replaced Orichalc for a reason. Like that. If I had room, I would run another. That's it for the fusions, though. Now it's time for the true bread and butter.
The white cards.
That was more like the margarine and like the crusty rolls. This is the true king's bread and butter.
Yeah, you don't want that shit.
I run 1 high-speed Roy Chanbara.
Ooh, but that first
This is a literal OTK machine. You summon that with Suwani and 2 other 2K beaters on the board, and like you've probably cleared their monsters. It's a wrap. No beat, no tortilla. Like it's just, it's done. It's done. Next up, Dang Long, first to the Yang Zing.
Damn.
One of the newest cards, right along with 9 Pillars. Play it. You play this absolutely. It's beautiful. It's stupid. The only thing keeping it from being completely busted is you can only special summon 1 per turn, and that. Just even that doesn't stop how crazy this card is.
Damn.
Metalfoes Horus. This one's pretty good, especially in this deck where you can get like a lot of its effects down here. What's especially fun is summoning it so that you can take control of one of your opponent's monsters. I did that once and was able to use it to make another one of the monsters coming up here that everyone really hates. But you'll see in a bit. I run Clearwing.
Nice.
Because you run Clearwing, and I don't have a Crystal Wing. So that's about all I can think to say about that. If you're not sure about that, that's fine. It works. It's what works with me on a budget.
Yeah, I was about to say, hashtag budget.
I run 2 Yazi. Some of you might recognize Yazi, some of you might not. He's not necessarily the biggest threat that the Yang Zing extra deck has to offer, but he's pretty far up there. He can destroy things. He's one of the only extra deck monsters that actually floats. He's pretty fun. The only fun thing about him that I don't have is 2 LPs.
I was gonna say, I think I might be able to help you out. Is this mine or do I?
That's mine.
Damn. Okay.
That's definitely mine.
I think I might be able to. Anyways.
Speaking of ultis, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. This guy, you summon him if you don't want to summon the other guy who's about to come up next. He is hilarious, he is funny, he destroys things for no reason, and he burns for even less reason.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
That is the best thing about this guy.
Didn't you pull him?
I did pull him, and that was one of the proudest things.
He's so dumb.
But
for no reason.
What's even dumber? Triple Boxia Brightness of the Yang Zing.
Sexiness.
Requires worms, but
sorry.
for each worm used to summon him, you can shuffle cards on your opponent's side of the field. You can destroy a card you control to summon a Yang Zing that's level 4 or lower from your graveyard and make more plays. He is silly, he is stupid, always run him at 3. I don't care what your extra deck looks like, you need 3 of him. He is brilliant, he is bright.
That is a thumbnail if ever I've seen one.
The final Yang Zing is the one that irritates the hell out of our friend Michael.
Yeah, well, friend.
Chao Feng, Phantom of the Yang Zing.
Oh, Jesus.
If you can summon him correctly, you can lock your opponent out. You can lock him right out. For every Yang Zing attribute used to summon him, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with that attribute. I summon this against Michael when he's playing as Kristrons. I can do it first turn with the water Yang Zing and shut down Kristrons like it's nothing. His only out is the top deck Regeki. And do you know what that luck is? It happened once and I still beat him. Like, that's how crazy Chao Feng is.
Going back to the beginning, have you ever made him with the water and this?
No.
And then, like, okay.
I wish I could, though, especially against Alex's Ritual.
Yeah, that's,
Obviously, I am not the most competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player, and this is not the most competitive Yang Zing build. However, that is more or less due to the lack of funds I have for some of the money cards people run, like Desires, Crystal Wing, etc. However, this is a good jumping off point for if you're interested in the build. I have a lot of fun with this. If you want to build it differently, that's fine. If you have other ideas, you can comment below, tell me about them. If you think you're having a better build or a better idea, comment below, tell them. If you think I'm a cancerous scrub, comment below, tell me. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this, have better ideas, or just want to see how much of a scrub I am. Absolutely. Thank you, and that's my Yang Zing Metalfoes deck.
Absolutely. Connor and Jossie of Team Sanctum signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.